Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Live Inspired Podcast, Monday Morning Moments with John O'Leary. So recently, Mom and I shared coffee with a man who helped shape our lives decades ago. He was not a celebrity. He did not make the headlines. He was instead a caregiver at Mercy Hospital's burn unit. And we came to know him heroically as Nurse Roy. While he was an exceptional professional, what made him unforgettable had less to do with medicine and everything to do with how Nurse Roy served. In a place filled with pain and uncertainty, Nurse Roy brought two things into our lives. He brought vision and he brought love. When very few believed a boy burned on 100% of his body would survive, Nurse Roy did not just believe that I would survive. He insisted that in time, I would thrive. For 5 long months, as my body lay broken and my future remained unclear, Nurse Roy pushed back the darkness and spoke light and life into my story. Each morning, Roy would walk into my room, he'd greet me by name, he'd lift me up from my bed, and he'd carry me back toward the bandage-changing room. With my little legs dangling between his, he would say, "Boy, you will walk again. And I'll walk with you. Now move those legs. Today you walk." Well, my friends, the first time I heard those words from that man, I hated him. The pain was already unbearable. Why add false hope to the situation? I knew as a little kid I'd never walk again. I was convinced as he carried me back to the bandage-changing room that he was wrong. And yet, Nurse Roy kept showing up day after day, step after step, with quiet strength and with humble persistence. Nurse Roy loved me forward. He refused to let me give up on a future that I could not yet see for myself. The reason, decades later, I walked down the aisle with Beth, chased my kids around afterwards in the backyard when they were little, raced through airports to catch those flights, or more recently, stood to greet Nurse Roy as he walked into my office, has far less to do with my own strength and my own great vision, and far more, my friends, far more to do with his strength and his great vision. As we met again this time, there were no monitors. There were no bandages. There was no urgency. There was no pain. Just 3 friends, Mom, Nurse Roy, and John, celebrating lives forever changed because one man chose to repeatedly show up with vision and with love. In a life impacted by innumerable heroes, few shaped my life, my journey, more than Nurse Roy. My friends, Hollywood celebrates heroes, don't they? Hollywood frequently dresses them up in capes. They glorify oftentimes violence, and they oftentimes elevate ego. But the real heroes, these are the heroes who show up quietly in hospital rooms and classrooms and homes. These are the individuals who encourage when others lose hope. They serve when no one is watching. They see what others can't, and they call it forward anyway. So today, in a world that struggles with negativity, I encourage you to do 2 things. Number 1, reach out to your Nurse Roy. Tell that person that you love them. Tell them why they matter, and tell them that even today you remain grateful for their life and their impact on you. And then secondly, and this one's equally important, strive to become a Nurse Roy for someone else. And before you think you can't, remember this. What made Nurse Roy truly extraordinary was not that his story would one day be told on the big screen in Soul on Fire. Instead, what makes his story truly extraordinary is that decades earlier, when no one was watching, when others had already lost hope, when others had turned away, Roy saw a broken child, and he cast a vision so powerful it helped that little boy not only survive a fire, but ultimately live inspired afterwards. We don't need a movie script for that one. We just need a heart for something and maybe someone bigger than ourselves. My friends, I want to thank you for being part of our story. I want to thank you for being part of our podcast community. And I want to remind you today that the foundation is firm. The headwind we face, yeah, it's real, but the best is yet to come. So for this time and until next time, boy, you will walk again. I will walk with you. Today is your day. What a gift it is. Live with your soul on fire.